Hey, look, he's back. He's back.
Go Green! How about those Sparties?
Now,
Woo!
fun fact: we had to call Donnie, make a deal, and get ice to round him up and get him here. But it worked. Hey, they're good for something, America. The Law Dog, we missed him. He's back in the hizzy, wearing his prideful. We will get into them, by the way. By the way, America, don't look now.
The Spartans.
They are a different squad. And when I say they are a different squad, they are a different squad than the one that usually finishes somewhere in the top 20 and gets to the Sweet 16 just because. No, this one might be Final Four material because they actually can shoot the ball. And it was kind of frightening when I was looking at tonight, but we'll save that for another segment. We got to start with segment 1, NFL recap. This is IDD. That is the Law Dog, the Ali Question One. The Redoubtable One is with us in spirit. Hopefully we'll see him on Saturday. He's kind of tied up this week with work stuff. What's that? Hey, yeah, work. I am working, by the way. I'll have my first substitute teaching job next week, Monday and Tuesday, right before the Thanksgiving holiday at an elementary school. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens with that. But hey, it's on the calendar, so we're there. Anyway. Segment 1, NFL recap. Now, we talked, you were not here, but I wanted your take on this because we had a very spirited discussion Saturday night about the impact of this weekend's games because, again, we went over it. There was some real haymakers and some clarity. I don't know if it's clarity, but I think we know that there are contenders and there are pretenders, but then there are some teams going, well, what if they get healthy in a month?
Yeah.
Because that would certainly fall into the category of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the reality is there was I don't know which heavyweight fight you want to start with. I would go right for the head of the snake with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions because that was not what people thought it was going to be. Yeah. People were expecting a shootout. It was a rock fight. And I thought Detroit was up for the challenge to put. Now, is the secondary? This is my first question was. Is anybody back on that secondary?
Yeah, secondary is fantastic.
Okay.
I mean, I felt like they did a really good job holding them to 16 points.
I'm saying they did enough to win that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
The confusion for me, and I on the surface it was, well, Detroit was never able to establish the run.
Correct.
Because Philly turned them into a one-dimensional team.
Yep.
But then you said something that I did not know that the line was sort of banged up.
We just got Malcolm Rodriguez back today. They just announced that he's going to be able to play.
He will play this week.
Yeah, okay. and all the comments were, can he play offensive line? Is there any way he can? He can't, by the way. But so not able to establish the run. And listen, credit Eagles defensive line. I mean, I felt like they were extremely aggressive.
They were.
I mean, and getting to Goff and really kind of shaking them up. Plus, you had the win factor, so the field goals weren't going to win, which makes Dan Gamble instead of Dan Campbell show up and go 0 for 5 on fourth down. He was a little aggressive at times. I thought a little too much. But I understood,
I love the aggressive to your point, but I agree that there was after 0 for 4.
Yeah, and I
mean,
if you're
or 0
within
for 3.
Yeah, I get it. It's windy and you're at the 40-yard line. You got to go for it, right?
Well, this is where the Detroit line, which I guess was banged up, that I did not know.
Yeah.
I thought if I had picked Philly to win this game, I thought it would be close. It was. I just thought because it was in Philly that they're at home, and if you look at the Eagles' schedule, they have played the toughest schedule in this league by far. Okay. I thought that it would be a close game. I didn't think it'd be 16-9. Yeah. I thought it'd be something like 27-24, 27-21, but I thought Philly would pull it out at the end because they were at home.
I would like to see Detroit get another opportunity. I thought that pass interference call late was pretty
well. This is the other thing. I did not count on that.
The refs wanted to go home early.
This was a crap call any way you look at it.
Yeah.
And I love. I don't forget who it was on ESPN this morning or yesterday morning.
Rex Ryan when he ripped up the.
Not him. It was Chris Canty.
Oh,
Canty was livid, as he should have been.
Sure.
Jeff Saturday, offensive guy, was livid. I mean, there was not a dissenting opinion on this.
And these calls are happening in other games, too. It's not just that Detroit game, but that was, like, blatantly bad.
I don't want to sound like those people that sit in the stands and blame the refs for everything,
right.
But your eyes don't lie.
It would have been nice for them to get the ball back to see if they could actually make it.
I'm not saying they would have won the game, but we've always said this. Let the players decide it.
Yeah.
That's when we get mad at the officials, when they decide, especially on something like that. That was no.
They did everything right. They stopped them. They got the
But
timeouts.
they're both being physical.
Yeah.
If they're both being physical, you got to let them play. Because honestly, if it was anything, it was offensive interference first.
Yeah, he pushed off.
Before that happened, and that's what preceded. This is what we don't understand unless you play football. The reason he grabbed for his arm is because he pushed him off.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't, because they were fighting. But then there was that, and he was like, and that should have been an offensive, because again, it's a 5-yard chuck rule. It applies to offense and defense.
Yep.
Because they have called this. Ironically, the Chiefs seem to get this the most when when a team scores on them. But I digress. The bottom line is that was a crap call, and it should have been. At the very worst, it was a non-call. It should have been offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
And now again, I don't know that Detroit would have tied it up, but they deserved the opportunity to try. And that's why everybody's upset.
Yes,
and
I agree.
I'm not blaming the Eagles for this. They're playing the game. But the reality is, there's been too many calls like this year.
A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them. There was one in the Miami game, too,
Yes.
in Washington, where there was a PI call, and it was like, oh, my God, that's so bad. You know what I mean? And, they try to keep those pretty perfect overseas. Those overseas games, it's kind of weird how all those overseas games, not saying it's rigged or anything, I'm just saying those have been really, really fantastic.
They've all been Donniebrooks.
Right.
They've
all been real good this year.
There hasn't been many blowouts over there.
Yep.
And I love the fact that they're expanding their fan base over into Europe. That's great. I love what they're doing. I don't have a problem with it because it's a global thing.
Yep.
And that's good for the game. So they're going to have flag football in the Olympics now because of this shit. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So it promotes the sport.
Fans get upset because you take a home game away.
No, there's 17 games now, so that's how I look at it. You're having an extra game they didn't want to play anyway. And by the way, when they go to 18, you're going to get it back.
Yeah, right.
Because not every team goes over there every year.
It's kind of like when the Raiders moved to Vegas. It was kind of like, well, if my team plays against Vegas, let's go to Vegas, right? So it's kind of like one of these times I got to go over there and let's go to England. Let's go to Spain for one of those.
The funny
games.
about the Raiders is now you go to Vegas, you might be a winner.
That's right.
Because your odds,
right.
In fact, if you're going to Vegas and you're betting against the Raiders, your odds.
The Raiders should be much better. They have a lot of talent. They should be much better.
I don't know if Pete Carroll has lost his fastball. I never thought he was good anyway. I thought he was a great defensive coordinator playing head coach. Yeah. But as he showed in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and again, I had a problem with throwing the ball. I had a problem with the play that they called. Because to me, if Pete Carroll's the stud that he thinks he is, the last thing you do against a goal line defense is throw a quick slant into it. There's too many arms around the line of scrimmage. All it takes one
Just
paw.
give it to Marshawn.
Just one paw. But
you already got your miracle catch right before.
Well, that miracle was a joke. Yeah,
when he caught that falling down.
That was David Tyree 2.0.
Yeah, that was another.
That was David Tyree. Hey, why is
I remember they showed Brady, and Brady's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's going to happen to us again. And again, Brady had another ridiculous game. He destroyed the greatest secondary in the modern era. In that fourth quarter, 14-16, 192, and 2 touchdowns on that secondary.
Yeah,
I mean,
show
me a quarterback do that in one quarter to that in their prime. That didn't happen. Brady is one of one. But the point is that and Pete Carroll said this. He was in that scenario all season, 2 of 7, didn't get a touchdown, 1 fumble. So he was playing percentages. Okay, Pete, I actually checked that out. That makes sense because it was a fact.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. The quick slant. Okay? It's either a Z route out, which the Patriots actually used on them early to June when they took the lead. You go to Z out to the pylon. And Brady leads into the corner. But if he misses it, it goes out of bounds. No harm, no foul. Right? Either your guy's going to catch it or nobody's going to catch it.
And I think they only had one timeout maybe left. I can't remember the exact
They
situation.
never called it. Belichick was, everybody's asking Belichick, no, he's gonna let it run down. He doesn't know what he's doing. Belichick says it when they're sitting there, he's like, because they asked Bill, why didn't you call timeout? I was like, I was watching them. And they were all discombobulated over there. They were panicking. Bill Belichick was basically describing a loafing. He's like, no, they're going to screw it up. I'm not going to call a timeout and bail them out. Let them do it. Let them burn their last time out. So Carroll then was like, I don't want to lose that last time out in case something goes wrong. So he rushes the call. And again, it wasn't that it was a pass. It was a quick slant.
It was his call. Was it Bevel's call, or did he didn't blame it?
He has to approve it. So if Bevel called the play, he got it on the headset. And he goes, all right, go for it. That seemed it's either, again, it's a Z route or it's a fade.
Yeah.
It's nothing right off the line. That is a goal line D. Every guy in that line is well over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
They're all got, and all it takes is one arm to go up and one paw. That thing's fluttering around 21 people, and it's a 50-50 who catches it.
Yeah.
Why would you take that chance?
Why don't they do a little jump throw like Tebow used to do?
Well, they have tall receivers, the fade to the corner power, or the Z route like the Patriots used with Edelman on them. The Patriots basically perfected the Z route. Okay, Troy Brown, Wes Welker, Edelman, now Pop Douglas. The guy, little quick guy in the slot. He goes in and quickly goes back out to the sideline, and they always clear out the outside guy. He goes long, so there's nobody in that flat area. So if the quarterback can lead him, he can turn and go. And why Seattle, who had enough guys had the kind of guys you could do, why they didn't call that one? I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't in the playbook. But that's a quick one you can drop in the dirt, for Christ's sake. Like, okay, we're going to line up these two guys. This guy's here. This guy. You're going to go in motion. We're going to clear everybody out. It's a Z. You're going to go in and out. He's going to throw it to the pound. You could have literally done that at a timeout. That's it. It's that simple. So he was wetting himself left and right. And I didn't think the Raiders were going to be that good. I didn't think they were going to be this bad.
Yeah. I mean,
they're bad. I mean, they're
you've got two solid running backs,
Yeah.
right? You've got you've got
Brock
everything in
Bowers is one of the top 3 tight ends in the league.
Absolutely, yeah.
In his second
and I know
year.
Gino. You thought, okay, you're getting Lockett back, Gino getting old Bam back together. They've got some chemistry. I understood all the moves.
Toby Myers was a 1,000-yard receiver. He's good.
And he wanted to get out of there.
Yeah,
Did he get traded yet or no?
No, he's still there.
He's still there, yeah. Because I remember he wanted. He said, "Oh yeah, I mean, it's whatever, man." Like,
I thought the Patriots would go get him back at the deadline because Brady has that connection with Vrabel, and I thought that they might do it. They didn't pull the trigger on it.
Yep.
But to me, they have enough weapons where what happened last night shouldn't have happened.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and blow the Cowboys for this. Look, I give them credit. They lost a teammate. Awful. Heart goes out. 24 years old, way too young. That is awful. We'll never understand the depths of that. And my heart breaks for his family.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised Dallas didn't come out and play their ass off. I expected that. What I didn't expect was the fucking Raiders to help them out.
Right.
Because the Raiders, that's a game the Raiders could have won. Now, and as bad as it was 31-16 with 11.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They just scored.
Yep.
And they force a 3-and-out on Dallas. Finally stop the offense. Get the ball back down. The guy kicks it down. The receiver fucks up and tries to play it. He gets tackled on like the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
Here's where Pete Carroll is Pete Carroll. Only Pete Carroll would think to himself, because they're this far from the goal line, you know what? Let's run a dive play right in the middle of that fucking defense.
Mm-hmm.
What more could possibly go wrong? How about a safety?
Right.
How about game over right there? Why wouldn't you throw a quick out or something, or run the QB outside on a naked boot because Gino's mobile to get 5 yards? Anything but up the middle from the half-yard line.
Right.
Would have been. Again, it's a stupid play call. It's just another, and he's done it before. So it's like Dallas played hard. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying they played well, but the Raiders did a lot of help there. So Cowboys are 4-5-1. Now they got to play Philadelphia this weekend. Mm-hmm. It's in Dallas, by the way. And the last time they played, Dallas was one. What's his name? Who's the receiver? Who's the stud?
You got CD, and
That's
got.
it. Stop.
Yep.
They were one CD Lamb drop from a win.
Yep.
And it was literally the one he dropped might have been the greatest pass that Dak Prescott ever threw. And he dropped it, and it hit him right in the breadbasket in stride. And if he just catches it, Dallas already would have beaten this team. And they're 5-4-1, and we're having a different conversation.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, something is wrong with Philly's offense lately.
Yeah, but I feel like they had this problem last year, where it was like, it just seemed to be like kind of stale.
But they'd still score over 20.
But now you got AJ Brown bitching in the locker room about.
Well, they're not running the ball the way they did last year.
Right.
This is what I don't get. And again, I get why it's happening. The guy just ran for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
I get every team going, nope.
Yeah,
Him
you
first.
got a target on your back now.
Yeah, you got to stop him first. I get that, but you got two studs like this on the outside.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that not? Something's not right.
Something's
not jiving.
Is something wrong there? Yeah,
Something is definitely wrong there. And now they're down arguably their best offensive lineman, Lindbergh, or whatever it is. He got hurt in your game.
Yep.
He is not going to play against the Cowboys.
Yep. Could be a problem.
This just got very interesting.
This could, yeah. But I still think Philly's well ahead. I mean, isn't Dallas?
They can lose the game, and it's not.
Yeah, it won't even.
Dallas would be 5-5-1, and still would be.
And I felt like that with Detroit too. Like the game they couldn't lose was the week before.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you can't go 5-4 and then go to Philly. You'd be 5, So 6-4. I'm not really too concerned. Jared Goff had one of his all-time worst games.
Yeah, he won't
14-37.
Yeah, he was bad.
That's just not really.
But again, they were able to. They stopped Detroit's running game.
But if you need a blueprint, teams against Detroit, there it is.
Stop the running game. If you can force them into be. I mean, honestly, except for the 07 Patriots and the 01 Rams, the greatest show on turf, those two in this era. Those are probably the only two offenses that could just line up and throw the ball 55 times and beat you anyway.
Yeah. Not even
it doesn't even matter who it is. They could do it because they had the quarterback and they had the personnel. They had both.
Yep. It's like the '84 Dolphins because they just didn't run the ball.
Marino was they could just go 5
throw for 5,000 yards was so ridiculous.
Yeah, he's another one. Or that 80 was it 88 or 89 Montana team with Montana, Rice, and Taylor in there.
Oh, that was the one that they dogged Denver in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 55 to 10.
That was 89 team. They were ridiculous.
They're a machine. So there's like 5 we could think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that leaves 99% that can't do that. So if you can stop the run and force them to pass, and the weather is bad, like the wind.
Yeah, which it will be in January.
Yeah, I'm saying. Then and again, Philly had the right approach here. We're going to put 7 in the box. We're going to take him out. Play zone. We're going to make this guy throw darts in a windstorm.
Yep, it was easy.
Smart.
Easy.
It was smart. And so.
And you got the W. It was an ugly win, 16-9.
They beat the Packers 10-7.
Yeah.
That was just as ugly.
Yeah.
So
but they're getting it done.
They're getting it done, but again, I think Dallas. We know Dallas's offense can score. I mean, they put up 27 on them last time, and that was with a bunch of drops.
Yep.
So in Philly, now they're going to be in Jerry's world in a dome where the weather will not be a factor, and you're going to be playing on a fast track.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know about. I think this is going to be a shootout game because I'm not buying Dallas's defense shutting down Vegas. That offense is not. Their line might be the worst in football.
Yeah, and I'd say Detroit. Just one final thought on Detroit is, they seem to be like a lot of Detroit teams when their record's like it is now 6-4. That's a better spot for them to be 8-2 or 9-1, because we saw what happened last year. Everyone said if they get home field advantage, it's a wrap, and then they allowed Washington to come in there and obviously their defense is depleted, right? But the year before, they kind of were that team where the record was, they're a wild card team. God, I hope they win a playoff game. They win one, they get all the way to the NFC Championship, or a quarter away from winning it.
They were, and I don't think they're by any means out of this. There's still a lot of football left, but they got to go on a bit of a run here, which I think they're capable of. Don't get me wrong, but this is where they got to reel off like 5 in a row.
Yep, and I mean, let's be honest. Like Chicago's leading the NFC North. We know.
I don't think Chicago can beat Detroit.
No, and we already beat them, right? Yeah. So I'm not really that impressed with that record. Like with them, I still think Detroit's the best team in the division.
They are.
Green Bay's behind them, and Minnesota. Like I was telling you guys, it's JJ McCarthy.
It's JJ McCarthy.
There was a lot of hype, and I was just I just didn't buy into it. And again, he looked good in that game where
You understand he's a rookie.
Basically,
he didn't play a snap last year,
and he didn't pass a lot at Michigan. Let's be honest; like he doesn't have it.
No.
But and so that game that he had where he came back and they had 3 touchdowns and they won, right?
Yep.
And they beat Detroit, right?
Again, he shows flashes.
Yep.
But this is what rookies do. There's the up and the down. I watched Drake May do this a year ago.
Right.
Literally, he'd have a great game, then he'd have a bad game.
Or they have a really good rookie year, and it's always a sophomore slump. It seems like it's very rare that the rookies come in and they just dominate. Even if they're like a highly touted rookie.
Yeah, sure.
So
no, it's a like I said, it's a conundrum to say the least. But I think Detroit is one of those teams that's capable of reeling off 5 in a row.
Absolutely,
they just are. Absolutely. They can win in multiple ways.
They've got dudes.
Their defense played well enough to win the other night in a hostile place, and their offense failed them.
Yep.
But they held Philly and that to 16 points at home.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
damn good. Under 20 is always good in the NFL.
If I had said to Dan Campbell before the game, hey, you're going to allow 16 points this whole game, I think he'd take it.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I think he'd take it. Anyway, lastly, before we close segment 1, is there a pulse in Miami?
A little bit. I think it's kind of interesting them rattling off 2 wins. Now, they had to eke, if anybody watched the game on Sunday morning, I was watching it.
I picked it.
They had to eke it out, right? They had to kind of, they had to eke it out. Yeah. But the fact they've won 2 after firing Chris Greer shows me one of 2 things. They're playing for their coach's job, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're rallying around him. They do have a bye week. We're going to be at the Saints game.
Yeah.
You come out of the bye week and lose to the Saints, you got a problem.
They should beat the Saints.
They should beat the Saints, and then I want to say they play the Giants after that.
The next 3.
No, they play the Jets.
The next 3.
When they could be 6-7, 6-7.
I'm saying they're not dead.
They're not dead, but a few weeks ago we had them on the grill with mango salsa.
Well, they looked like
they
it.
looked
They
awful.
looked like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
They looked like, all right, just flip it. It's dead.
Yeah, I mean, at that point they'd only beaten the Jets. You're like, good Lord.
No, they went, hey.
So
and
again,
they jumped off the grill. Oh, hey, what the hey?
I know this as a fan, but I also have Waddle on my fantasy league team, and there's only been 1 week that he hasn't scored a touchdown.
He's amazing.
He's been an outstanding, like with Tyreek going down proves that, because we used to say there's 2 1s and no one would give him enough credit to go maybe, but he's a 1.
He's a 1.
And we've got guys catching. Look, they're running the ball a lot better. Achan is he's ranked number 2 in the league
rushing
after the first hit.
Yeah.
Yards after the first hit.
Actually,
Jonathan Taylor's ahead of him.
In rushing, he's only behind Taylor.
Right. I mean, and so. But for a few weeks there, they couldn't run the ball or throw the ball because their offensive line was – so they've obviously made some adjustments there. Their defense looks a little bit better. Again, it was Washington. Right?
They went across the pond.
They did.
They got it out of wind. It's always hard to go and do that. You got to switch 6 time zones, whatever the fuck it is.
That felt like a loss. Yeah. Like when they let it slip, they just – sometimes you're just
look, they played with their food a little bit, but they won.
They got the win.
And to me, I just looked at their schedule, I'm like, Jesus, they're not done.
And the Bills,
there's a window.
The Bills win there was extremely big for Miami.
It actually was.
That was, remember I was telling you, they got to beat the Bills. They got to do 3 things this year. They got to like either win the division for him to keep it, or they got to beat Buffalo, or they got to like win a playoff game.
I don't know if it saves his job, but don't get me wrong. I still think he's fired.
If they have another coach,
they'd have to for him to not to get fired without winning a playoff game. They'd have to win the rest of their games and get it. And then they end up on the road.
Sure.
And they lose to a top seed or a higher seed.
Probably
would given how that would get him back, but he has to get in.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get
and with the schedule you have, it's kind of laid out for you because the whole AFC East this year has to play it's a pretty poor schedule. You know, we got the Jets twice. You got the Miami. I think you guys had to play the Saints too, right?
Well,
we all had to play the same squads.
The NFC South is who we got, but Carolina's 6-5.
Yeah.
They're a surprise.
Carolina beat us. Remember, we were. I was at that game.
You pissed out.
They pissed that away. So when I look at, I was like, man, I know they're only 4-7, but that Carolina game would have them at 4-6.
I'm just saying that game they should have. They were leading.
I would say this about the Dolphins: they're not dead yet.
No,
but I'm not expecting them to make the playoffs. But
listen, I thought they were dead 3 weeks ago.
I did too. Like I said, mango salsa, hot sauce.
They're not dead yet. They're not. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But right now, you look at the next 3 games. They certainly have the offense to roll.
They could win 2 of those.
They could win all 3 of them.
Yeah, easy. And then they'd be 7-7.
The way their offense is playing right now, they could win all 3.
I personally, obviously a Dolphins guy, right? But for all the shit that was talked about Mike McDaniel, like Rex Ryan going really, I thought some of it was a little.
I still
excessive.
don't believe in the guy, but
right. I felt like it's okay to be like, hey, he's probably an offensive coordinator dressed up as a head coach.
He could be a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he could be Josh McDaniels.
He might not be like the old ball coach we expect to yell at us or anything like that.
Listen, you could be a Hall of Famer as an offensive coordinator,
but he's not like straight garbage either.
No,
he's having a bad year.
I'm saying he's not a head coach.
Yeah, and that's fair.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be on your staff because God knows from an offensive standpoint. He's got some pretty innovative shit.
I understand if you don't think and if it's. I just felt like some of the stuff was just way too far.
I just think he's the guy that the real. You see this in every movie. There's the boss. And there's the guy that's like his side, like his because he's
his yes man.
He does no, but he does no. He's not an ass kisser, but he does one thing really well.
Oh right.
Whether he's a shooter or he can dispose of the bodies, he's the best driver, and it gets in a car chase. Whatever he is, he's got something about him.
He's your ride or die.
Yeah,
your ride or die dog.
No, he's like you look at that guy and it's like Forrest Gump. How hasn't somebody killed him yet? Like it's fucking. He's so stupid. No, this guy has one trick up his sleeve though that his boss thinks is invaluable. That's why he's in the fucking movie.
Right, exactly.
Because you're like, what? But then you see it, and the boss goes, "Told you."
Yeah,
and 15 fuck ups. He does.
Who's going to be the new GM? Is it somebody that you're going to move over and keep McDaniel for another year?
If you're Miami, obviously right now you got to let this play out and see what happens.
Right.
Because again, I don't know that they're dead.
Yeah.
I just don't know. So, but they've made it interesting, and they're going to be a tough out the rest of the season. We got to play them again up at Foxborough. Anyhow, the good news is it'll be below 40 degrees, so we all know what happens there. But the bottom line is that I don't want to see them if they've won 4 in a row, and we're fighting for a 1 seed, which we may be.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Miami's not a team I want to see if that's the way they're playing. If they keep this up, I don't want to see them. I'm just saying, not based on what I saw the last 2 weeks. And again, Europe wasn't pretty, but they won. They went over there and won in a neutral field after change. That's not.
And 2 didn't throw any picks. He wasn't like he was super efficient.
No, he didn't lose you the game. He
didn't lose the game yet. I mean, you hope he does it every week.
Every coach says this: just don't lose the game. Because no matter who your quarterback is, if he's not Tom Brady or Mahomes or a guy, you're like, just don't lose it.
Yeah.
Don't let it be you. Because if you don't do it, there's a chance we can win.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about when a QB fucks up. When a QB fucks up, that's the fuck up that generally loses the game.
Yep.
When the QB fucks up. Okay? And some of the guys, guy fumble, maybe, missed tackle, penalty, maybe. But if the QB fucks up, it's guaranteed.
Against Buffalo, when it was warm and he threw that pick, and they were driving to win it.
Speaking of QBs fucking up, Josh Allen, that was one of the biggest loafies he's ever laid.
Oh, absolutely.
3 turnovers. He was atrocious.
That was a massive
I swear to God, he was throwing it right at you guys.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then all of us fans are like, what is this team?
What is he doing?
What are they doing?
So that was a loafie. But hey, the Dolphins took advantage of it.
98% of the money was on that, so it could also have been a Vegas special. It could have had a Paulie Walnuts call, you know what I mean? Where he said, listen,
Then bag of donuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Polly Walnuts and
It's
Vinny
very
bag of
possible because that was a
You
really.
call Polly Walnuts yet? Well, no, I'm
Because
going
that
to
was-
Vinny bag of donuts.
I'd almost bet my house that the Buffalo Bills were going to win that game.
Everybody bet on Buffalo.
98%.
We all picked them.
Except for like some
Even
slap,
you picked them.
Yeah, even some slap Dolphin fan that was
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to pick them.
Yeah.
And
no, there was
yeah.
none of that. No. Point is, they bitch slapped him.
Yeah,
got 'em
and that
all.
was big. That was big for their confidence,
Pantsed
and then
Pantsed
and then going across the pond. And like I said, you got a
Saying,
week
That's
to get your guys right and
Yeah, they got to
get a
buy.
little healthier.
This
Yep.
is good because you're coming. It's tough. As tough it is to go over there, it's tough to come back and play the next game too.
And the Saints
And what if you
are-
don't come back and go
yeah.
home? What if you come back and you go on the road somewhere else? They'll fucking kidding me? That's
Yep.
like an 8-9 time zone change. What the fuck it is?
Yeah.
That
Yep.
can't be easy.
I think the Lions got to play the Giants next, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Giants are toast.
And the Lions haven't lost in like 52 games, and they've not lost
And
two in
back
a
to
row.
back, yeah.
Yep. So so I'm pretty confident they'll win. This
yes,
season.
I'm expecting a Lion rebound this weekend.
Yes.
I'm demanding it because I know they're better than this. And I know it's not all their fault. Like you said, there's been injuries. I
Right.
want to see them healthy, and I'm not writing them off. But we're
Right.
going to talk. We're going to come back. We're going to do our NFL top 10 week. This is going to be a good one. We're going to have by the way, we have to talk to Yoda about this. We need the expert.
We need a little assistance.
It's bad. You're not a bad. You're poor faith religion. If you're not at the altar of Beelzebub, you don't bow to it. It says it's poor faith. I'd question you if I was a Catholic. I would. I'd be like, hey, you expect what the fuck's that? And that's Yobo. He's cool with my guy. What the fuck? So anyway, segment 2. Lawton, lady teases. Come on. Lawton, lady teases, law dog. That's gonna stick. Segment 2.